Red violin wouldn't be really representative of Sonoma County if it didn't include grapes. So we're going to use the dye from grape skins to colour the varnish on the violin. And today we've come to this vineyard near Glen Ellen to pick Malbec grapes, which I'm told have the most intense red colour of any grape. Okay, here's a dye making test. Got my Malbec grapes in here and I've been simmering them with some alum, and now I'm going to separate out the juice from the skins. Got a nice red colour at the moment. So here's the Malbec and alum solution in the small beaker, and I'm going to add some of the ash and water solution and hopefully get some precipitation here. A little bit of fizzing there, not much. And slight colour change. So the more basic it gets, the bluer it's going to become. So I would like it to remain as red as possible. So I'm going to leave it. Even as I'm stirring it, it's getting more blue, more purple. Yeah, it's definitely reacting now. It's getting quite purple. Okay, going to test out some of this pigment. So I got the purplish pigment we made from the grape skins. What I'm going to do is grind it on this muller. It's got a textured surface, and I'm going to put a little bit of walnut oil on there to wet all the particles. It will bring the colour out. So it's got a very dark purple colour. I think just a little bit of this in the varnish is going to give it a nice colour. Too much of it would be too much. So all I'm essentially doing here is making oil paint, because that's what oil paint is. It's dry pigments like this are made of various things and then just ground into a drying oil like linseed oil or walnut oil. These oils that if you leave them sitting around in the air, they'll actually become dry. So the longer I go, the finer the particles get. But this is hand grinding, and it's not merely the way they grind pigments these days. They use machines and rollers, and it tends to grind it even smaller, and it
it gives a different effect in the varnish. So yeah, this is a very, very, very deep purple. I think it's something that's going to have to be used quite carefully. Anyway, let's look at it on some wood. I got some varnish here, and there's a bit of the varnish without any pigment in it. I'm going to put a bit of that to start the varnish, and then I'm going to mix in a little of the pigment, see what we got. Yeah, that's a pretty horrible color. That's kind of a black. That's not going to be the primary color for coloring this varnish. Actually, black is a useful color for muting. It's not actually black, but it has sort of blackish tendencies. It's a useful color for muting other colors. So if you don't want the color to look too saturated, this would be a good color to dead it down a little. So probably not going to be the primary pigment, but could well be useful.